Do you want to make a medium, large, or large purchase and you're not sure exactly how to make the decision? Should I buy it or should I not buy it? In this video, I'm going to share with you 7 tips that will help you do just that. And I'm going to share a process of decision making that I went through when I was trying to decide on a medium, large purchase of my own. Let's talk about it. Welcome, I'm Amy, and here at Frugal Over 50, I give you tips and tools for frugal living. Hola a todos! El día de hoy les voy a compartir 7 tips para decidir si quieres comprar algo o no comprar algo, especialmente si te va a costar algo de dinero. Tip number 1, identify the need. What do you need? In this case, I'm going to be talking about the need that I have for a camera that I can use to expand my YouTube channel, something that I'm looking to do over the next year or 2. It's a medium to long-term plan, and so I need a solution that will go with me for the medium to long term. This wouldn't even be a need for me if I didn't have a YouTube channel, but since I do, it's something that I need to consider all the time. Do I have a camera that works for me? Do I have a camera that can get me where I want to go? Do I have a camera that will stick with me for several years because I'm into frugal living and I don't want to buy the latest gear every time something new comes out? So that's my need. Tip number 2, after you have identified your need, identify what you're doing right now to meet that particular need. I think this is an important step that sometimes we don't take. It's possible that your answer is, I am not meeting that particular need and I need to go take care of purchasing that item immediately so that that basic need of mine can be met. In that case, you go for it. But in my case, I already have 3 cameras that I can use and an additional lens. I have the original camera that I started my YouTube channel with, which was on my iPhone 7, which I now use as sort of a backup, not really as a camera anymore. I use it as a backup into which I record my audio, and I also use it as a remote for my television. So it still serves me, not as a camera, but it does help me on YouTube. And I also use my iPhone SE 2020. Yes, the 2020 model SE. It's now 3 years old. It's been supplanted by, I think, 1 or 2 later updated editions of the SE, but I'm still using it occasionally. A lot of my vlog style footage comes from this camera, and I have an additional lens that I can put on it for some things. If you watched my bread baking demo video, I used this camera with an extra lens. I'm going to link that up above and down below, and you can see that video. I used 2 cameras. One of them was this one with an extra lens on it. I also am talking to you into my Sony ZV-1 vlogging camera. Hello, hello! This is an earlier edition of a current Sony ZV vlogging camera, and I like it very much for some things, and for some things I don't like it so well. Now, it seems that I'm very well supplied with cameras that I can use for now and for the medium term and for the long term, but I was actually just wondering if I needed something else, something better that would take me farther. And so, tip number 3 is establish the solution. The solution that I established was going to be that I thought all of the tech that I have is between 3 and 8 years old. All of my cameras. In digital camera world, that's kind of old because technology in digital cameras, particularly the ones inside phones, is changing really rapidly. And so I established a solution for myself. I saved some money and I had it put aside, and I was going to use it to buy one of the latest new phones that were going to come out. I did some research on a couple of different brands, and I had basically decided on the one that I wanted. I had the money set aside. Also, in order to sort of test out whether I thought this would work, I've watched different vloggers who report recording their videos on different phones and different cameras, and I've checked out the quality that I like and the style of videography that I like to confirm that the particular phone that I really wanted to buy so that I could use its camera both for talking to you like this and for vlogging would work the best. Would work now, would work in a couple of years, would work maybe even in 5 years. I would love to have something last 5 years in the world of tech. Wouldn't that be a miracle? So I really had the solution established, and I think this type of research is super important. Sometimes we skip over it just because we get excited about the advertising that comes our way, and we need to think carefully about how will I actually use this if I make it the solution that I want to have in my life. Is this the solution? Establish which one you're going to get, how much you're going to pay for it, and what exactly you'll use it for, and how long you project that you'll use it for. All of these questions are super important. They should be sort of flying around in your brain as you establish your solution. But that's not all. The next thing, and honestly the reason I decided to make this video is because of tip number 4. Identify when you just have that feeling that something is wrong here. And this is not a feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm not used to spending money, I'm not comfortable spending money. This is not that. I understand that, you understand that, we're frugal people. There's certain things that we're just really reluctant to spend our money on, but we have to convince ourselves to because we actually need the item. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that deep down gut sense that, okay, I've taken everything into consideration. I have the money set aside. I know what I'm going to use it for. I know how long I'm planning to make it last. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to make the purchase. And in fact, I had the particular phone that I was going to buy in my cart online, and I was looking at it, ready to hit the purchase button. And I just had such a strangely, sinkingly bad feeling in my gut that this was not, in fact, the solution to my need. This would not fix the particular problem that I have. And I didn't know why, but I just felt like something was wrong. Really wrong. I shouldn't do this. I'm not making a moral judgment on myself. If I had gone ahead and made the purchase, that would have been fine. But it really just didn't feel like the solution, even though I had spent literally months working towards this exact moment in time. I didn't have that feeling of like, okay, time to pull the plug, time to do the thing, time to make the purchase. It just felt wrong. And that led to number 5, which led me out of the darkness, led me out of the wilderness. Rethink the problem. Rethink, number 1, the original need that brought me to believing that I needed to research and get a better camera and have something that last with me forever and ever. Well, 5 years. I thought to myself, what is my actual need? What is my actual problem? Listen, folks, I'm a teacher. I'm always thinking in terms of what is the best thing? What is the best way to do something? I've got like a lesson plan for my life. You know what I'm talking about if you're a teacher. So in going back and thinking, what do I actually need? I realized something. The one main thing where I feel a deep lack of confidence when it comes to cameras, photography, videography, editing, all of these things is the technique. And this is where my teacher brain went, oh, right. So I am also a music teacher, and I have had students come to me and say, I learned how to play this great song on the piano. And what they had learned to do is go to YouTube videos where they show you a keyboard, and whenever you're supposed to press certain keys, it'll show you certain colors. So you can learn to play a whole song by following the colors on the screen. It's really fun. It's a little bit more than just a gimmick because you really do learn the song. And I had students who played these songs really quite beautifully. They knew exactly what they were doing, but they couldn't go beyond learning with these videos because they didn't know how to play the piano. They didn't know what the note names were. They didn't know about how to hold your fingers so that you don't get sore. They didn't know any music theory. They didn't know where to go to look for any more songs. And that is where my brain clicked and I went, oh, that's what's happening to me. I have been for 5 years almost making videos just almost like a kid who's learning to play one song after another using those YouTube videos with the different colors for the different keys. And what I really need to do is learn technique. Learn what exactly does photography entail? What exactly does videography entail? How to set up a shot, how to frame a shot, how to capture it in a beautiful way, and then how to bring it into my editing program, and then how to edit it professionally. This is what I want to learn. Of course, that's what I want to learn. I'm a teacher. I teach technique. I teach singing technique. I teach writing technique. Of course, I'm going to want to learn camera technique. And so that led me to number 6, which is to change the solution. Back in number 1, yes, I definitely had a need. I've been feeling this sort of like, I don't know, I'm not super satisfied with how things are going. Not because of you folks. You folks are lovely. I just mean I want to do better. I want to do more. And I couldn't identify what it was. And I finally realized it's not the tech. I probably in a couple of years do need to update my tech, but not today. What I need to update today and this year is my technique, and where I need to be looking to spend my time and possibly spend my money on some actual classes taught by real professionals is how to set up my camera so I can get the best lighting, so I can get the best angles, so I can get the best shots, how to bring those video clips into my editing program and then edit them so that they look bright and beautiful and colorful and with all of the depth and richness that I really crave in my videos. It sounds so exciting to me, and I hope you can see on my face that suddenly I am excited about this rethought solution, where I felt anxious and concerned and worried about what was going to happen when I bought this new phone that I was going to use as my camera. Now I'm super excited, and I'm going to be seeking out classes from professionals. I've already decided the first one that I'm going to seek out is a guy named Pat Kay, who teaches classes on photography, and that's where I'm going to start. Because what I have learned, the very first little thing that I have learned is that videography is basically photography, just over and over and over, super fast. And I'm like, how did I not not know that? It's like those flip cards, that show you the picture moving. That's basically what we're doing here. And so I want to learn the basics, and I want to learn from the basics. Of course I do. I'm a teacher. I'm a perpetual student. This is what's going to excite me, and this is my new solution. And that leads us to our final tip. Depending on what you end up deciding as you go through this process, how much money did you save? Well, I ended up saving about $1,500 because what I was going to buy cost about that much. That money is sitting in my bank account, ready to be saved and added to for a future year where I might buy more tech, or ready to be used to get a photography course with an actual professional. I'd love to have that level of detail and that level of personalization as I work on improving my camera game. And I have the money set aside to do that. Bola Sokumbi of Clever Girl Finance has told us frugal living is the act of being very intentional with your spending. This 7-step process of identifying a need all the way to coming to your final solution, and maybe going back and doing this process again and again, is being very intentional with your spending. It is being frugal. How do you decide on medium to large purchases? And what are you saving for? What are you thinking about next that's coming up big on the horizon that you're going to have to make this kind of decision for? Tell me down below in the comments. And remember, wherever you are on your frugal living journey, take the next step, whatever that next step is for you, and know that you are not alone. And I am so proud of you. Live frugally, change your life, and together we will change the world. I can't wait to see you again soon. Nos vemos pronto. Bye!